Hello guys, today we're going to be doing another episode of In the Shrimp Room with markshrimptanks. Good morning. Oh, the coffee tastes so good in the morning. Hopefully this is recording because I did notice the battery was going a little bit dead in the microphone. What do we have planned for today? Let me see. I did some neocaridina water changes yesterday. Got the Sulawesi tank here. We have some water prepped. This to be oxygenated first before it goes back into this tank. Oxygenated and heated up. We'll go over that as well. Bee shrimp tank water changes probably. I did, what did I do last? I did neocaridina, as I said, on this side, that bottom tank. So today we'll probably do, let me see, what needs it the most? What needs it the most? This tank is looking gorgeous. Probably these ones here. Maybe, can we do them all actually? I've been trying a thing where I do smaller water changes but more frequent, as you guys know, right? So I can't do that with my soft water tanks because of the active soil. You'd soon strip out all the tannins and acids. Sorry, I have a little bit of a cough today. All the tannins and acids in the tank if you did too many water changes, right? But what I was thinking about was taking part of that bit that I said at the start, the part where I said small water changes. They don't always have to be huge water changes, right? So I'm thinking we have 50 litres to play with. Let's just eyeball it up here. Do I have enough water to do a water change in most of these soft water tanks today? Even if it's just 5 litres. Even in the big ones, if it's 5 litres, they will all get some fresh water, right? So let's quickly just see. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Wow. It's actually bang on the money. 50. I think this holds exactly 50 as well. So the issue with that is some of these tanks need topped up a little bit as well. One of them does for sure, just this one. Maybe we should do 5 litres in all of them. We're going to have to watch the exact amount. Tomorrow I can always top them up a little bit more as well, so we'll do that today as well. We'll try and do all of the tanks in one go, which can be a pain in the ass, right? But the way I thought we'd do that is empty the tanks first, because guys, if you don't empty the tanks first, you get like mixed up with what you're doing. If you don't do the water removal first, the GoPro just switched itself off. If you don't do it in that kind of order where you do most of them all at once, instead of trying to mix like emptying them and filling them at the same time, you tend to like forget what you're doing. Like yesterday, which tank was it? Oh, let me see. I always do it in the cherry shrimp tank. I did it in the green jade tank yesterday, where I forgot I was filling this, and I was over here doing some, I think I was moving a shrimp from one of these tanks, and I could hear the water splash as it hit the floor behind me, so you've got to be careful. We're also going to do the Sulawesi tank as well, as I said. And I'm saying we're doing the Sulawesi tank. All we're doing today, guys, is we're going to put an air stone in this and let it aerate for probably the rest of the day, right? So that's, you maybe won't see that in this video. What else do I have to do in here today? We have some nettles that we must go through. First nettles of the year, so there will be a video. If I remember, I'll put the thumbnail up for it here, so you can see I had a little bit of fun making the thumbnail with this one. We can look at the shrimp food that I make as well, because I have to do a little bit of work with it still, and all I have to do with that, guys, is take it out of the dehydrator. It's been in there since yesterday, and put it in the bucket, let it cool down, and then box it, and that's all I have to do with that for today. God, I do have a cough. I knew I had a bit of a sore throat yesterday. You could probably hear it. So there you go, there's what we have planned. I was wanting to try this other microphone I have, because as you can see, this one is good sound, but you won't hear me way over here, and it's kind of awkward to do stuff with the camera when you have this attached to your body. So I have a Rode, a directional microphone I can put on top here, and we'll see how it goes. Just for the emptying of the tanks part, right? And then we'll stick it back on for the other bits that we have to do in today's little Into the Shrimp Room with Mark Shrimp Tanks video. See? Tiger King. You know what I'm saying? For all you horny guys out there, I'm the Tiger King. So let's get started. We're doing bee shrimp tanks, right? So the first thing we should do is prepare the water. And I knew this isn't going to be long enough. Right, we're going to change to the directional mic and I'll switch the camera directly back on again. Unos momentos. Alright, there's Sasquatches. I couldn't get it to work properly with the other mic, right? So we're going to try with this one. Just on the camera there, right? So hopefully you can still hear me, because I need to be able to work and use my arms. You know, one of the things I just thought about is I need to empty the water and you're actually in the sink. It's not going to end well for your legs. I don't think it will have. We'll have to move you. I didn't think about that. OMG. We'll have to move you. You long-legged freaks that you are. Let's see, get you up here. So you can sit on the side instead. That's any better, you think? Alright, let me see. What can you see? My apologies about my throat today, guys. I don't know what's up with it. Right, so we have to have the water on, which it has to be up to temperature, which it is. We need to have proper TDS in here. Let's have a little look. Pure RO water. So we need to add our minerals. My voice, oh my god, what's happened to it today? We need to add my minerals. We need to add my minerals. And so we have our salty mineral here. What was this? Here's one scoop. I think this was 4 scoops. The other one is 6, this is 4. I might be changing to a different brand of buffer as well. There's a Norwegian brand called Nordak, I think it's called, or Norak, maybe it's called. One of the two. I've actually sent them an email asking them about the buffer. Oh my god, I can totally taste the buffer. I don't know what is up with my voice and my throat today. And so that's 4. I hope you probably counted me putting in like 6 or something. You know, maybe I should stop drinking tank water. And so we'll let that mix in. I need to get a bigger pole here. I'm getting my hand wet putting it in the tank now. And maybe I need a drink of water. Where's my coffee? Alright, so we'll let that mix for a few minutes. Get the stuff ready for the tanks. We're going to go for 5 litres per tank, as we said, just as a trial to see how this works. Into the shrimp room with Mark. See, it's not all super exciting, is it, guys? Well, that's 120 already. Right, so by the time this is dissolved, we will be good to go. Right, so I use this thing for doing my water changes. I prefer to do it with sucking the hose. No laughing at the back there. Because I have had the pythons before. I have had lots and lots of them, especially the ones where you squeeze the ball. My god, where's this going, this conversation? I have to think of my words a bit better, don't I? Right, so you squeeze the pump thing on it, and it creates a siphon, pulls the water out of the tank. Mr. GoPro again decided to stop. I can't say the word or he'll switch off. Right, so the siphon pulls the water out, squeeze the little ball sack, but they always break. They always have broken with me, and I'm sick of replacing them. Right? So this does the same thing. An old power bait tub here. You guys in America, guys that do rainbow trout fishing and stuff will know what power bait is. I just cleaned it up, put a hole on each side. This is a tea strainer on this end. I'm not sure if I have a full one. Right, and this is such a tight fit. Such a tight fit that I can just change this pipe with any of the other pipes I have, right? Because I have a shorter one here that's good for the tanks and the floor. Alright, but I normally have a chair for doing this next part with the top tank, right? So don't be judgmental if you see some splashing of the waters. Splashing of the water. Oh. See, this is what I hate, is when you get buckets that stick together. Why, you mother? I had them stuck together yesterday, and it was so hard, guys, to get them apart. Especially when you have, if you get newer ones, see this one's quite new, the suction in them is redonkulous. It's because the surface is smooth and you put the old bucket in. There's like a suction thingamajig going on that dramatically increases the area of the suction cup. Science officer, markshrimptanks. Right, so I only use one bucket when I'm doing my water changes. When I'm doing them as well, guys, don't expect to hear a lot of talking until I'm over here, because you just won't hear a thing I'm saying. The mic's probably not even working right now. Right, so this is what I do. Onto floor, into the tank. I forgot to mention as well that on the inside of all my buckets I have measurements in litres. You can see that there. So this top tank will go for 5 litres. 5 litres. And when I suck on this, guys, because the tank is high, as soon as I suck on it, I'm going to cover the end with my thumb, and that will stop the water being splashed everywhere. Alright, let's try it. You see? The water's in the pipe. This is awesome for my work. The water's in the pipe, and I'm actually able to control the direction of it. Okay, so in we go. I'm going to get 5 litres. As I said, I don't normally do it this way. I normally have this bucket on a chair. Okay, so we're almost there already. 4 litres. 5. 2 thumb over the end first. And we've kept this suction my thingamajig in the pipe. You see it? All the water is still in here, so we can still use this to start our scything on another tank. Let me just put a floor towel down. You can see the water inside the pipe. I'm a magician. Okay, so we're going to go with the orange eye blue tiger tank, same thing. Let go with your thumb into the tank. I'm going to put 10 litres in here. This is just like the worst position ever for my back. I didn't think it was through. Why is it going so slow? 9 litres. And 10. Okay, so there's 10 litres of water out of this tank. Out of these tanks. You guys want to see it all? It's a little bit boring, so I get the water here and into the sink, right? But normally, if I wasn't filming, I'd just chuck this in the lawn. Chuck it in the lawn. And the reason I do that, guys, as well, is because I'm on a septic tank here, right? And I don't want to fill it up with good water. I mean, ours has an overflow now for water as well, so it's not a big deal. And then we're going to go into the 2 smaller tanks. Either at either side like this. I might just do 4 litres in the smaller ones today actually, just to make sure that we have enough water. Because these are newish tanks and they have just a couple of shrimp in it. So 3 litres. On to the next tank at the side. Use your foot to clean the floor as you go along. And then we're on to the next one, right? So this is 8 litres, this will be. Lovely. I'm making a dramatically improvement to the shrimp. You want 8 litres. 8, come on. That is 8. And then we take this little part off here because I'm now on the floor. I'm now on the floor tanks, I meant to say, right? So we put this on here, see how it fits in, just go straight in. And we have 2 floor tanks on this side. Just the 2. The same thing again, you guys will not see a thing, but we'll do it anyway. We're going for 4 litres again. The flow is a little bit slower when the pipe is shorter. You guys can. I have to edit that part out. 3. So you guys see my butthole. 4. There you go. That's that one done. Move over to the next tank. I like to always dry the floor as I go along. And that's because I don't like wet socks. Who does? Oh, wet socks. Wet socks mean athlete's foot, which I do not like. If any of you guys ever get athlete's foot, Limassol One Touch is amazing. There you go, there's 8. I just want to show you guys this. Right, I'm not sure if this is going to come out in camera, but in tanks that have an active soil, when it's good and working, it's quite visible the difference in the water colour in the tanks. Right? So if I went to my paint and fire red tank, even though I do water changes in that every single day, you'd see tannins in it. You can't really see it in this. Right, so my point is that even active substrates that are acidic, you think the water would be browner. My voice is starting to go. You think the water would be browner, as I just said before the GoPro decided to. You know, so we're now on to this side, I think. We have 4 tanks to go. Just put you on the ground. Just going to make sure, guys, that you're actually looking at the proper place because we've done these tanks here. You can turn me around a wee bit. Alright, so next we are going to do these tanks basically, right? So we just need the long tube for this one. And this is me showing you guys my water change routine for my bee shrimp tanks. And so same again in here. This is actually going to be quite good if we can get this to work where it's just 5 litres of water in each tank. If we can get all of them done in one day, because it saves me so much problems with my back and stuff. It's different with the neocaridino tanks because I have more of them, so I have to split up the days I do water changes on, because I just don't have enough water for my neo tanks because there's more of them, as I just said. Let's try this. So if you ever get this stuff in your mouth, because it does happen, I can't even see the writing on this. Now we're going to go to 5 on this tank. I'm actually going to stop it manually like this instead of putting my thumb over there, because I accidentally put the wrong end on here and I can't stop it on that angle. We'll do one of these tanks, we'll have to empty the bucket. Yeah, I was saying, guys, if you accidentally swallow or drink the water, right, it's a good idea to flush your mouth with water. If you have hydrogen peroxide in the room, you can gurgle it as well if you want. Right, and that will kill any of the bacteria that's out into your mouth. That will kill any of the bacteria. Oh, we're getting there. I have had quite a nasty mouth infection from swallowing water before, but that was years ago when I used to keep turtles. The water was horrifically bad. You can imagine the amount of waste turtles produce. You can imagine the amount of waste that turtles produce. And I actually ended up with like a mouth of spots. There's like white spots everywhere on my lips and under my tongue. And it was lovely. And I was sick for probably about a week with this thing. I've never had any issues since, but as I was saying to you guys, right, if you have hydrogen peroxide, if you accidentally swallow the water or get it in your mouth, just give it a gurgle. Make sure it's under like 6% though, so you don't hurt yourself. I always have reoccurring, as I said, I always have reoccurring ear infection. What's going on, Mr. GoPro? Let's not include any of the words I just mentioned there about this. Let's see if that stops this. Thank you, GoPro. Oh, by the way, someone pointed out to me, I think it was Aaron, that I can disable the voice commands on this, and I know I can, because when you're doing YouTube, I typically will use my phone to set the shot. If any of you guys know about filmmaking, you can set the scene kind of thing. So I don't know right now if my head's in the camera angle, right? But if I have my phone here, I can link it to the GoPro and say, oh, I need to stand over here a little bit or over here a little bit. So that's why I do it, voice command, right? So I can stand over here and say, Mr. G Pro, please effing get my gist. Voice commands are good when done properly. Let's get this finished. Alright, look at the next tank. Well, a little update while you're away up there. These tanks are doing great again. This one has slowed right down, but I see the adults have they've gotten bigger. Shrimp have gotten bigger. I say that in kind of reverse order. The little babies have gotten bigger now. Some of them are adults. And I see, you can probably see this as well. There is a little bit of breeding action going on. Tank on this side here also has a couple of berry females again, so this tank is going to be populated real soon with red King Kongs. I was just talking to you guys the other day in the stream about the galaxies, how I thought maybe I'd made a mistake, how I'd maybe making a mistake removing the majority of the shrimp out of the tank. Well, I don't think I did. The shrimp that have been left in there now have grown as well. I think we are done. I think we're done with the water change part. And now all we have to do is fill the tanks back up. Oh. Fill the tanks back up. Let me show you this again, the water, just so you can see how clean it is. This is typical on your active soil substrates, that the water will be crystal clear. Alright, I normally leave. You know the problem we said in the beginning with the bucket sticking together? This is a good tip. Turn your bucket upside down. In the sink, let it drain fully before you put the buckets back together, and it does away with the suction thing with the water. Right, so just go over, clean the floor. Clean the floor, and then we can get on to the exciting part. Exciting. Just let's double check everything. Temperature's good. TDS. TDS is 124, 125, which is in the ballpark, which is what we need. Hopefully you guys can see me with it. What else do we need to do here? We need to add in our liquid humic, which I'll show you guys me doing as well. And we need to add in our iron, right? So that's one of the things I didn't mention at the start, is I actually add iron to every single tank every day as well. We might have to make up a new bat, or will we? Let me see. Let's use this one just because I'm on camera today. We'll use the bot stuff because I'm on camera. Right, let's do the liquid humic first. Give the bottle a wee shake, like so. You're not missing anything here, guys. I'm just going to fill up a little container. I'll show you the container as well. This little thing. So this only goes into tanks that have an active soil, right? Because if you put this in a neocaridina tank, it will fight. The acids in the liquid humic will fight against the KH that our crushed coral in the tank is producing, right? So you don't want that. You don't want this counterproductive thing. Here we go. Bottoms up. And the way I do it, guys, is after water changes. It just depends on the volume of water I've taken out, right? So I tend to do one full pipette like this, all the way up to the ball here, in my small tank, right? So in the larger tanks it will be 2. And this helps your soil, I would say, regenerate itself, because the soils they have a negative charge to them, which is what we're after. Some people drip this in, not me. Alright, we're getting there. This is how fast this can go. And it will turn your water a little bit tea coloured in the beginning. But as I said, guys, it's a good indicator if your active soil is still buffering. The next day you come in, if it's still brown, then there possibly is an issue with your active soil. Into all the tanks, all the B tanks. Last one, just give it a little shake, make sure you get all the tannins out of the little pipette. I'm doing it this way, guys, as well, because I could quite easily start filling these tanks up with water, but as I said, I have like the worst memory ever for remembering I'm doing stuff, right? So shows you how much humic I add. And typically I will do this. Just once a week with the bee shrimp tanks, right? So that is their water change done for this week. And then we go on to the liquid humin. Not the liquid humin, the iron. Let's go on to the iron, right? So I'm using Easy Life Ferro here. I normally use the stuff I showed you guys before, but just because we're doing a video today, I thought we'd just take the easy option instead of me making up a new batch onto camera. Because it's the same kind of stuff. It's all good for the shrimp tanks. This stuff has a slight green tinge to it. I didn't know it was compared to the other stuff. Slight green tinge. Bombs up again. Someone will be reporting me. Right, so this is what was it now? 1 mil per 50 liters. It's the same, exact same amounts that I use for the liquid humin. I think I did that on purpose, guys, because as I said, my memory is awful. Right, so I like to try and keep things as simple as possible. So this gets 2 full pipettes into the stop tank. This tank probably could get 3 because it's much bigger than the other tanks. And then we get our finger out, we get into gear. Let's get all these tanks down. And I also do, guys, all the tanks with the iron, as I said. Oh, my back is on fire. Oh. And this tank in the bottom here is a splashy tank, so we need to get that filled a bit sooner rather than later. The pot many slightly the water, so it's making a splash. Let's get these top ones done. 2 full pipettes. This tank is 140 litres, so this one could actually get 3 full pipettes. You can see the Sawasa tank. A good idea for you guys, if you watch my videos, right, is to you can go back to the last video that we did with this and look at the difference in the growth of the Sawasa tank. If anyone says to you, like, they don't think iron does anything, oh, it definitely does. Definitely does. Iron. I can't believe I didn't use iron much sooner. In this teeny little tank here, I only use half a mil. It's so small. The bottom tank here gets 2 full pipettes. I think I need a little bit more for the other tanks, which you won't be able to see, right? So I'm just going to pause the video for now. GoPro, stop recording. GoPro, stop recording. Alright guys, while I remember, let's do this Sulawesi thing. What can I show you here? Camera angle is very hard, very difficult. And so I used salt and mineral Sulawesi 8.5 in this yesterday. I put 4-ish litres of water in here, and I put my minerals in, and 1 litre of CO2 injected water from our soda stream. Right, so today I'm going to check the TDS, right, because yesterday it was only 70, which is nowhere near enough. Right? It needs to be like double that for this amount. So let's see if we can get this up here. Just tilt it a little bit. And I just want to see if it is dissolved. It has actually 120 parts per million, right? So it needed 140, right? But I think probably not all of the minerals have dissolved yet. Alright, so what we're going to do next is we're going to release some of the CO2 out of this container, because I put CO2 infused water from the soda stream, as I just said, and then I put the lid on, and then the CO2 dissolves some of the minerals and it helps to release them into the water, right? So this end here just goes onto an air supply over here. You probably can't see a thing. And guys, I just want this to bubble a little bit. Alright, so is that done? You can probably see down there. Let me see, can you even see a thing? Let me see, it's the way down there. Maybe you can just see the top of it. It's the way down here, right? So how's our water doing? This is for our bee shrimp tanks. 130. I think that is the exact amount that we need. 130, yeah it is. 128, 130 is spot on. So let's get this water into the tanks. Some of the tanks it will be slow, some of the tanks it will be faster. It just depends on the depth of the tank. But this top one up here, I can take the water going in full blast. What I typically do, guys, is I position my filters, my little power heads in the tanks. You can probably just see it away over here, because the GoPro lens, the angle is very good actually. It has a very wide screen. You can see here. It's like this much from the surface of the water, the little part mini filter. But so in all my tanks is roughly the same. Like here you can see the water splashing around because there's not enough water there to cover the part mini. So I use the part minis as a ruler to judge how much water to fill the tank. Here we go. Turn it off. I love this now. There's hardly any spillage. You get spill straight into the tank, and just leave it fill up. Go over with the floor towel, cleaning the floor as we go along. Things nice and dry, but this might be a little bit boring for you guys to watch, right? So we're going to do something else at the same time. I'm just wondering how I can do this though, because I need you to see over here and I need to be able to see up there, right? So I'm going to pause the camera until we figure out a good angle for you to be in, okay? GoPro, stop recording. GoPro, stop recording. Right, so we are in the food stage. I'm keeping an eye on my tanks being topped up over there. Can you see them just over there? Maybe not actually. Okay, so let's have a little look at the way I make my shrimp food. I'm not going to show you guys exactly how I do it because I obviously make a little bit of income from this, right? So my food is in a dehydrator. Let's just quickly turn this off so you can see it. I have a way that I do this. Just let me make sure that you guys can see in a good enough angle. I have a way that I do this. The food is made and then it's placed into the dehydrator like this. Dehydrator is quite cheap. It's like $30. I put this mosquito mesh into it like this just to stop the bits falling through, and I bunch it up like a little flower like this. And this is how I make my shrimp food. Right, and then it goes like this into the container, plop, like this. And I actually had someone before say my shrimp food on my channel that was rabbit food that I was buying. I'm like, I think this kind of proves you wrong, doesn't it? Unless you think I go to all this bother to put rabbit food into a dehydrator to show a camera. Dumbasses. Dumbasses. Right, so thank you guys for buying a lot of my food as well. I'm actually having to make kilos of it now rather than just the odd packet. Food is awesome. Let's see how we're doing. And so you can see this process here is quite fast. This food has been drying for a whole 24 hours. And it is bone dry. It's like super dry. And I use the silicone pouches with this once the stuff is in storage to make sure there's absolutely no moisture. I don't think I've ever seen mold in my food ever. I think there was once I made it in here where I didn't have the temperature up high enough, and it took literally like 4 days to dry, and there was mold on it. But the way I do it now, it's dry within 24 hours, bone dry. Let's see. Oh, last one in, and that is it done. 4 trays, 1 kilo of food made. And this will last my shop for about a week, probably 1 kilo. So check out the description, guys, if you want to buy some shrimp food, homemade shrimp food. Oh, I think I'm going a bit too far today. My back is saying, hell no. Right, so this is what it looks like. Lots and lots of lovely, 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 lovely shrimp food. Right, so this is mega. I was going to say mega hot. It's not mega hot. It's too hot to store as it is, right? So we have to let it cool down naturally. I like to leave it out somewhere, not in the shrimp room because the shrimp room is humid. I like to leave it out somewhere where it's dry. I like to leave it out somewhere where it's dry, like near where the fireplace is typically. We don't have the fireplace on anymore because it's warm enough, but typically that's where I'd leave it, the driest room in the house. For at least 3 or 4 hours to cool down properly before I put in something like an ice cream container with a couple of those silicone pouches that draws any moisture left out of them, and it's good for storage. Then I pack them up into mylar bags, and it's good for almost, I would say at least a year, right? Probably 6 months to a year, and then after that you should probably consider buying more food, because it's not just that the food goes off, it starts to lose its nutritional value. Okay, we're going to get on with the water changes. Let's get you back over here. GoPro, switch off. GoPro, switch off. GoPro, turn off. GoPro, stop recording. Alright guys, we are getting there. We are getting there. I know you're a little bit low because you're midgets, but I want you to see the other tanks as well. What we'll do, guys, right, because this next part is probably the most boring thing you will ever see in your life. I'm just going to take the opportunity to feed the shrimp while we're here. Why not? Feed the shrimp. I was actually going to do the nettle video today with the nettles I have there, but I don't think I will. My back is saying, no, Mark, no more today. So let's feed these tanks. I'm going to get my nettle mix. My nettle mix. And depending on the tank, guys, this is my stuff here. This was the silicone pouches I was talking about earlier on. Depending on the tank and depending on how ferocious the shrimp are, it will dictate to me how much food I put in. This is something you guys will have to learn as you go along as well. Right? So, in this tank, the shrimp are okay feeding. There's a lot of shrimp in there, but they're not ravenous yet, right? So we have to watch their feeding. So I only put a couple of bits in. These smaller tanks here that are still to be filled up. This tank only has like 5 shrimp in it. Small piece. This tank only has a small amount of shrimp in it. Small piece, small piece, small piece. But this tank is doing very well. So this is one that we'll have to watch for the feeding. Bottom tank, I could literally put in a handful of food and they'd eat it all right. So when it goes. Crayfish tank, same again, a couple of bits in. Top tank, maybe two bits at the most, because these guys have had babies, but they're not super ravenous yet, right? So watch your shrimp, watch how they feed. One bit in this middle bit. We sink, sometimes we don't always sink. The tanks with the new crossbreeds in them will get no food today because I just put them in. There will be enough food in there for God knows how long for them until they start to breed. There's no point overfeeding stuff. A little bit there, there, there. I like to put a little bit extra in the tanks with snails. We have to change the water here. That will do. God, I'm always like this. The little midget mofos. So we did that tank, that we did that one. That one. Did we fed them all already? No, we haven't. We have these ones over here. So I'm just going to quickly feed these two tanks unos momentos. Where did it go? Right, so there's my nettle mix. That's all the shrimp fed for today. Let's see. So now we just have the boring job of waiting on these tanks filling up. Look at the shrimp, look. They're doing good. Yeah, smart. Now let's turn this down. And now it's just a waiting game, as I said. I'm going to get a drink of water, guys. And there you have it. I don't know if I want to bore you with the rest of this filling up thing. Do you want to see it? Should we just chew the fat kind of thing? Let me quickly just make you a little bit taller or something, because, or make me smaller. I don't know how to do that. We should have a chair here actually. For top 10 coffee time with markshrimptanks. Right, so hopefully this setup has worked okay today. That tank is almost full as well. So with the water changes, some of the tanks I can go full speed, some of them I have to go slower obviously. Use your floor towel. Dramatically increases the dryness. It's just good practice to keep on drying the floor as we go along. You're probably looking at my chest when I'm talking. Oh yes, he's a predator. Let me see, maybe we'll lift you up a little bit. GoPro, stop recording. What are you doing away up there? Just a little bit too tall. Let me bring you down. Hope you can't see any bald spots there. There's a reason I wear a cap. You guys are thinking, oh, we're so cool. Where's a baseball cap in the shrimp room? Well, it's not because I'm cool, trust me. This is the water from the stream. I still haven't finished the glass. You see what I mean, guys, about remembering to fill the tanks. Yeah, I could have been blethering a lot of crap there. Tank please change again. Dry to floor. Oh, my back is hurting. Right, so there you go. We've done our water changes. Let's go over it just very briefly what we've done. 5% water changes in each tank. We've added in our humic content back into the tank. I think it was 1 mil per 50 litres of water. Sometimes I do 1 mil per 60 litres because none of these tanks are actually the same size. You can see like that tank there, I think that is meant to be 60 litres, but the one next to it is also meant to be 60 litres, and there's this much of a difference in the glass height. Right, so I always say like between 1 mil for 50-60 litres of tank water, because that's what my tank sizes are. Add in your humic content like we just talked about, then dose your iron, very, very important. I was actually thinking about doing a little experiment with iron, because I did start an experiment with iron, with Java moss growing in a container, and I have it through there on my windowsill, and it's been sat there for 2 years, guys. Right, and the experiment was to see if activated carbon stopped algae. You know, if it would absorb enough nutrients out of the water to stop algae, and it does. It does. I'll actually show you this. I'm not sure if I'll make a video of it or we'll do it in the live stream. But I think it would be a good test to do, maybe on the same 2 containers as well, a good test to see if iron makes a difference, because one of them is very sterile, very minimal growth, the other one's just a mess of algae. Both the same water source as well. Now, I normally do the small tanks here first because this tank is fine even with that amount of water over it, right? So I like to do this first. Get the water in there, right? So back onto the little experiments that I was doing. I think we shall dose iron into one of them. I think I'll show you the containers first. Yeah, I think we will make a video actually, because I think that will be a good thing for you to see. And then I'll probably do the whole thing and then shoot as if I didn't see what's happening, just so you guys are kept in suspenders. So that plan would be for me to film it, dose the iron, then put the iron part onto the end of the film that I've already made. You can see what I mean. I don't mean hide it from you. I mean show you the results all in one video, because I think that would be cool to see. What's interesting this morning is my Nepenthes is growing very, very well, guys. I have noticed. You know what I did? I swapped the soil out. I didn't actually remove the roots this time. I've done that before where I removed the roots, and the plants have really, really struggled after I did this. I've watched like a bazillion YouTube videos of guys wetting the soil, removing all the soil, cleaning the roots, putting it back together, and it looks amazing. Right? That never works for me. When I tried the thing of rinsing the soil off the roots, I would say 90% of the time I killed the plant. And so we did it with this. I didn't remove the old soil. All I did was give it a bigger pot, and I filled it with akadama. I'm just waiting for this tank to fill up and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. But because akadama is actually meant as a bonsai soil, so I figured, well, it must be quite a good draining soil if it was designed for bonsai, right? So, and it is. And it has a lot of iron in it, as we already know. I think this is why these tanks do so well. Let me just say, we're nearly there. Yeah, we're there in this tank. Gives me a chance to show you guys this stuff that you wouldn't normally see. Right, so on here you can see the akadama. Hopefully you can see. I can't really see if you can see this. This is akadama in here. It's very well drained. My jugs are coming back. Look at this little fella. You can see this one here as well. Right, so they were really struggling. They were really struggling before. And I think it was just a simple case of the pot was too small and it was drying out too fast in between water changes. I think this plant hates that. And so we actually did it with an orchid as well. We did it with. Alright guys, my camera switched off because the SD card was full. I was showing you the orchids here, how I've put akadama in here as well. The plants seem to be loving it. I've done this with all my orchids. I've mixed in the soil with the bark. Very nice. So the plants themselves are doing fantastic. Right, this tank is almost full. And my SD card is warning me that we are almost done. I can't tell you the exact words because it doesn't want to work that way. Right, so guys, please, if you've enjoyed today's take on the shrimp room, please like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you in the next one, right? Let me know if you want to see more content like this as well, because going from the last video, you guys quite liked it. Okay? So happy shrimp game, guys. Stay healthy. GoPro, stop recording.